Hi everyone. So I got a book that I was waiting for some time now. It's called Your Next 5 Moves: Master the Art of Business Strategy by Patrick Bet-David. So I've been listening to him for many years now, and I love his content and YouTube videos, his podcasts. So he's somebody that I listen to on a constant basis. So he released a book, and I was waiting for about 2 months because he released it recently, and you could have ordered, and then I got it from Amazon sometime later. I even pre-ordered it to get a couple of chapters. I believe the first 2 chapters. I'm not sure how exactly what it was. It had different things you could have do to get different chapters. So I started reading it. I'm not done yet, and it's really inspirational because I'm into constantly working on myself and the things that I'm doing, and working more, finding out who I want to be in this world, and everything like that is important to me. So one of the things in his book, which is on page 37, in case you will get it or you have it, he says his topic is knowing yourself is an effortful process and rarely an epiphany. So this is a lot of what I talk about on my podcast: knowing yourself, finding out more about yourself and who you want to be, and getting there, because that's really important. If you want to be happy and if you want to have a goal and you have something you want to work on, you really need to know what you need. So he wrote that under this topic that I just talked about, you need to understand who you are, what makes you tick, and how much risk you can handle, and what type of family you want to create. The key element behind all the stories and exercises in this move is honesty. Looking in the mirror can be painful at times. I shared with you how much I cried when I took the personality identity audit, but the pain was worth it. Once you become clear about the most important product, your decisions will flow naturally and lead you to accomplish your goals. So this is what he writes. And this is like what I've been talking about with you as well throughout my podcast, is that if you know yourself, it's a very hard process, because we're always changing and things are changing in our circumstances, and our kids and our families, our work. So it's always changing. So it can confuses us. But what I really liked what he's saying is that, and I want you to take away from here for yourself as a message, and I'm taking away for myself again, is to be is honesty, right? To be honest with yourself. Not like what everyone else thinks, it's just you, what you think. And how much risk you can handle. So if somebody can do more, that's good, but you might not. And that's fine, because that's what's good for you and your family at the moment. It can change. Again, that's really important to keep in mind. Also, another thing that I really think is important here, the risk and the honesty, which we talked about. And the other one would be also the type of family you want to create, right? So if you have a family already, or you're in the process of getting married, having kids, or you're pregnant, whatever the situation is, you also have to think about what kind of family you want, right? So some women or some men or families are okay with different setups that work for them, for their careers and for their work. But you have to think, if is it going to work for you? Is it going to make you happy at the end of the day, right? So there's families who are okay working all day and having a nanny watch their kid, and they come home and watch their kids for two hours in the evening, and they're happy with that. There's families who want to work part-time so they can spend more time with their family. So one thing cannot work for everybody. So this is another aspect that's important that I also talk about in my podcast. So when you're looking into yourself and learning yourself and trying to figure out who you are, remember that honesty and that risk and the type of family or future you want to create for yourself, right? If you don't have a family or future, see if all that aligns with that. I think that's really, really important. And this page 37, this topic is so important. That's his whole thing that he talks about in the beginning, knowing yourself, and then from there taking those next steps. Again, it can change because things change all the time, but your core, right? What's important to you, what you really want, is going to be usually the same, right? More or less for many years down the line. If family is important to you, right? No matter what, you're always going to do things to accommodate your family first and then put everything else. Or you'll find a way to do it in a way that doesn't hurt that value that's so important to being with the family more. So think about it. If you're interested, you definitely should get the book. I don't know if they still have it on Amazon, honestly, and I think they should have it, but it's already out. I got mine. So it's by Patrick Bet-David. I hope that you can get the book. It's really like an eye-opener. I think it's a really good book because I did listen to him in years, and I do. And like reading it and like hearing his voice while I read this is really good. It's a really good motivation. So I hope you enjoyed it today, and I'll be back again. Have a good day. Thank you.